Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
DC fans, we just got the official trailer for Superman. That's right, after a pretty lengthy teaser trailer, a 5-minute sneak peek, a featurette, this is actually our first full official trailer for Superman, and we have been kind of in the dark about what exactly is happening in this movie. It feels like so much is going on, and with this 3-minute long official trailer, we now have a much better idea of the story, the motive of some characters, and what could be going down. So that's exactly what I'll be doing here for you guys, is I'll be giving you my trailer breakdown for Superman. I'll be telling you my reaction to certain scenes, how I'm feeling about the film, any concerns I have, but overall, it's getting hyped. Even the marketing has begun with some more toys being revealed of like Superman, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and a Hawk too. Superman has a hawk too. Be sure to leave me your thoughts on what you thought about this trailer, your favorite moments, or anything you're worried about with the film. All right, so the trailer actually begins with an interview that's being done by Lois Lane and Clark Kent, or at least so I thought, where the trailer is revealing to us that Lois Lane already seems to know that Clark Kent is Superman. I honestly don't mind that, especially since Lois Lane and Clark Kent work so closely to one another, and this is supposed to be like Superman's second or third year working at the Daily Planet. With them being that close and her reporting a lot on Superman, she was just gonna notice it eventually. But it seems like the rest of the world still doesn't know Superman is Clark Kent. But this specific scene, like, man, it really showed me that when it comes to the characters and the story in this movie, James Gunn has nailed it. Where we have is a scene where Superman at first is confidently being okay with taking an interview with Lois Lane. That is your first mistake. Anybody who knows Lois Lane knows that's never going to be an easy interview. And Rachel Bronson is playing the character really well, hammering in her hard reporting side where she is grilling Superman on him having stopped a war in Barovia, this fictional country that the US is having some problems with. Apparently, Superman took it upon himself to go over there, stop the conflict, all just so he can save some lives, not for any political reasons, but his actions have caused some real anger from the US government and the Barovia country. This is such an interesting way to get into the Superman conflict and actually make him a relatable character. Although this movie is very much looking very comic booky, very cartoony, in ways I enjoy, having Superman put in a situation where it's like, yeah, I stopped a war, I saved lives, why are people mad? Well, your red and blue outfit makes it look like you were doing it because the US sent you, so you were representing them. And on the other side, that other country would not love that they have someone so powerful on their side that they feel bullied, and maybe they have to retaliate with something like the Hammer of Barovia, which we do get sequences and fight scenes of. So there are going to be consequences to Superman thinking he's just saving lives, but he only ends up escalating some situations. So this Hammer of Barovia will be a consequence of Superman's actions, but there's a lot of fan speculation about who is underneath the suit. Some people think that it'll actually just be Ultraman in the suit, and the Hammer of Barovia will more be something orchestrated by Lex Luthor to kind of exaggerate the consequences Superman has on the world to really make him look like a bad guy, which that would definitely work if Superman's actions caused destruction in Metropolis. Still though, like I said, I think James Gunn is nailing what the Superman personality should be, with David Cornswet saying,
"Consider the consequences.
People were going to die."
I've seen some people say he's getting too angry. It doesn't read as anger to me. It reads as frustration, because how are you mad? I saved lives. Still though, we see the US government and whoever are the superhero approved teams are going to end up arresting Superman for his actions and him just not wanting to play to the agenda of the government and just save people whenever he thinks it's the right thing to do. That's where we get shots of Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. Rick Flag Sr. is set to be the head of a task force that is meant to deal with metahumans in this universe, and that's why he's there whenever Superman is arrested. A member of the Authority, the Engineer, who has this nanotech ability to create deadly weapons, and the mysterious foe Ultraman, who we're all kind of assuming is a Superman clone made up by Lex Luthor. And I guess speaking of Lex Luthor, let's discuss him, because man, Nicholas Hoult is being a professional hater in this trailer, and I love it. How many shots do we have to get of him just zoomed on into the camera crying and spewing out hate. This is who Lex Luthor is, man. He looks so happy one scene when Superman is getting to be arrested, and when Superman is getting the upper hand or winning, the anger that is emerging from his face. I am gonna love this portrayal of Lex Luthor. Most of the conflict that Superman is gonna have to go through in this movie is all gonna be orchestrated by Lex Luthor, just trying to send everything he can to bring the Man of Steel down. I think it's gonna be a heartbreaking sequence of Lex Luthor and the Engineer just tearing down the Fortress of Solitude, even Krypto being a good boy trying to defend his territory. Superman is gonna be absolutely pissed about this, and you do get a pretty smug moment from Lex Luthor where this quick shot, you have Superman in the offices of Lex Luthor where he throws his desk at the wall, and Lex isn't fazed. He isn't scared. He's drinking his cup of coffee right in Superman's face, because that is always the thing with Lex and Superman. Lex can push Soup's buttons all he wants, but Superman, being the good guy he is, will never throw a punch, will never actually physically hurt him, and that's what makes that Lex Luthor and Superman dynamic so fun to watch. I also want to bring up how big of a fan I am of some of the camera work in this. I've seen some people not be too big of a fan of it, but the way the camera is so dynamic in following Superman in his battles and his action sequences, or how it's even slow to catch up to Superman when he flies up in the air, those are little details I really love, and it's making this Superman movie feel visually different. And I guess on that topic of details I love, every moment where Superman is just saving civilians, or even the civilians handing out and wanting to help Superman. Really reminiscent to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, but it's heroic things like that that I've been wanting to see in a Superman movie. This trailer also highlights more of the relationship between Pa Kent and Clark Kent. We get a voiceover of him laying on some wisdom, and what even looks like a young Clark Kent hugging his pa. I think this is going to be the real emotional part of this movie. James Gunn has talked about that this film is almost a tribute to his late father, where the movie is set to release on his father's birthday, and there is a shot of like Superman in his childhood bed with Krypto, and even injured, with Mama Kent even ready to shine his boots for the big fight.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
It's honestly all sweet stuff that I'm liking that we're adding to Superman, and not just making him this overpoweredly god character. Now, this trailer also gives us a couple more shots of the other heroes that'll play a part into this movie. We have learned since the last trailer that the team that is derived of Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific, who are sponsored heroes by Maxwell Lord, who we got to see in the Peacemaker trailer. Their superhero group is said to be named the Justice Gang, and I think this will just be the team to again represent what it's like when you are commanded on when and where to save people. I love seeing Mr. Terrific in his technology with his T-spheres and his T-ship, but as someone who's been missing the Green Lanterns, it was kind of cool to see some Green Lantern powers in this trailer, with Guy Gardner just flicking away some people. Very much in character for him. I'm starting to get the impression though that Mr. Terrific will actually betray the Justice Gang and help Superman on his mission, believing what he is doing is the right way, which, yeah, I would hope Mr. Terrific would come to that conclusion, being the third smartest person in the DCU. We've seen ads where he's helping Krypto for Superman. Even at one shot looks like he was on the field fighting alongside Superman. This also could explain why in the Peacemaker trailer, which I forgot, Peacemaker Season 2 is supposed to take place after Superman, and this is why they are actually trying to find a new member on the team, because Mr. Terrific has left them, believing that sponsored heroes are no longer the right thing to do. And if you're wondering where Mr. Terrific will end up, well, James Gunn has teased the Terrifics, and some of those members include Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho, who is in this movie, will most likely be rescued, and Mr. Terrific will help him out and build a new team. You can see some of the interconnectivity happening in this universe. I'm still wondering what his role into the movie is, because what we get right now is him in this Lex Luthor metahuman prison, where it looks like Lex is just locking up people that are superpowered and don't follow the rules of the government, or maybe just people who don't agree with him in general, because there looks to be a lot of civilians in this prison. But Metamorpho, with the power to turn into any liquid, gas, or solid, has turned his hand into kryptonite that is weakening Superman in this moment, letting the soldiers in the LexCorp outfits just beat him up. To me, it does not look like like Metamorpho is happy doing this and he's being forced to by Lex Luthor. Whatever the reason Lex Luthor has to control Metamorpho, he will also be swayed by Superman's good boy charm and actually help him escape the prison, where it looks like actually in this scene, he's going to be forming together a light source that gives enough strength to Superman, which is why we see it so bright in this version of the trailer, where reflection shows Metamorpho's right behind Superman, powering him back up and giving him the strength he needs to escape the prison. But honestly, this is just more shocking because we are going to get kryptonite in this movie. I didn't know if kryptonite would be a widely known weakness for Superman, but looks like Lex Luthor figured it out. And everything else is just hype aura moments for Superman. Him coming out of the debris and dust. People have zoomed in and speculated that he's wearing a brand new costume. Wouldn't be surprised if Superman does get one by the end of the film. But the score, action scenes, and scenery just give me all the excitement for this. There's even one shot that it looks like it's taking place in space. There's been rumors that there'll be like a pocket dimension. So maybe that's where this battle takes place, and that way they're not causing too much destruction in Metropolis. All I know is this trailer did enough to let me know some of the internal conflict in the movie, but I still think there's so many surprises and things that are being left out, and I'm happy with that. And if this is the last trailer we get, I'm fine, because I'm so sold on watching this movie. This is why I throw it off to you guys. You see the new trailer for Superman. What are your favorite moments? What do you make out from it? Anything, everything. Be sure and like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.